We almost have it. We almost have it.
Objectively, the best Call of Duty zombie is Noctur and Tony.
Oh my god! Don't stop.
Pure hate has come out of my mouth while I've played this map.
Man, we're about to get fucking Dr. Monty again.
In the
things.
episode. Ladies and gentlemen, zombie lovers alike, welcome back to the Round Base Radio Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things zombie talk. I am your host, Fox, joined by my two co-hosts, Drew and Dalton this week. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing for round 13?
Man, I'm really looking forward to arguing.
Drew loves his arguments. How about you, Dalton?
Doing great. I'm a little tired, but I'm doing fine. Doing real fine.
Ain't that swell? All right. Well, welcome into round 13, everybody. Coming fresh off round 12 that me and Dalton recorded not too long ago and posted on Infinite Warfare Zombies. Go check that out if you haven't. Gentlemen, today what I wanted to talk about and what we kind of have planned for is talking about the differences between the hardcore and the casual player base when it comes to zombies. And I've just got some questions lined up. I know Drew's got some questions as well lined up for us today. And before we get started, obviously you guys know what comes with recording this. We are going off of round 11's community questions that we have for this week. Not 12 because 12 is kind of recent and I don't expect any questions to come out of that one because it was like a bonus one that we did this week. So we are going to pull up the questions. Give me 1 second. Always can count on these guys to deliver. We got 3 questions, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Okay. So I got the questions put up right here. First, coming off of round 11, like I said, we got Shimmercode 3908. He asks, the conversation about the community theories last week inspired me to ask this one. Since you have those in mind, what might be some community myths that you have once believed in or tricked others into believing yourself at some point? So who wants to start us off with that one? It's a good one. Here, I kind of already got mine. So while you guys think, I'll go ahead and tell mine because I'll say this is one that I believed because I was a young kid, young dumb. I know Drew can adjudicate for this. He was
pretty stupid.
We both believed it, and I don't want to hear because you did the same stuff. We would do the whole box method on Black Ops 2, trying to get certain weapons. That whole myths theory of if you shot a corner of the box, did a 360 jump, knifed it, shot the mystery signs, you get an RPD, you get a ray gun or a hammer. And surprisingly enough, like it did work one time or two, and I was like, oh no, this is it. We gotta do this every time. And if it didn't work, it was pretty much just like, it's just a little buggy. It's just a little buggy. But yeah, that's definitely one that I always kind of fell for back in the day. Nothing I could really trick anybody though. I don't think I could really have one that, to trick somebody to thinking, but yeah, that's mine.
To be completely fair, there were Easter eggs in the games at least, so it felt like it was something that could be plausible.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it definitely wasn't off the table back then.
I think that Mob the Dead was controlled by the devil was just something that was really funny back then. For some reason, actual Satan was now just like taking a piece for himself.
A little pocket dimension.
Yeah, he was like, nah, bro, this is actually hell. Like, we didn't want to tell y'all this. But yeah, just been leaking a little bit of impurities into the universe.
Definitely good. That's a good one. Dalton, do you have any?
I was gonna say I'd have to probably agree with you. There wasn't really a lot of stuff I did that, like, I thought it would help me do something besides like the box. And then, of course, when you're younger, you fall for it. And then, like, I still do it now, like, just to be like, oh, look what I'm doing. But sometimes it worked though, so maybe it is just buggy.
Sometimes, hey, maybe you just ain't working today. You'll come back
I just ain't
tomorrow.
spent enough last time.
That's a good one, though. That's a good question from Shimmer. We really appreciate that so much. And I got a comment here from Solus, but I don't think he left a question. That's all right. Just making sure. And then obviously, I don't think, again, this comes at any surprise. Damon has got a very interesting one that's Drew read before we started recording this. I don't think Dalton was here, but definitely a interesting one. I don't know if Dalton's heard. But he said, I'll do a quick question. Marry, fuck, kill between Diego, Billy Handsome, and Dr. Modi. Definitely a out of left field, but that's what we love to see. So who wants to start us off?
I marry Billy, I kill Dr. Modi, and I fuck whoever's left.
Diego?
Yeah. That was gonna be mine too.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know what else you could really do. I mean, you could
God,
probably
everybody
swap.
just really wants to be with Billy Handsome.
You could probably swap Diego and Billy, but I think everybody's killing Dr. Modi.
Yeah, I don't want that. All right, let me censor myself.
Yeah, let's stop before we get in trouble.
Hit him with the old.
Yeah,
I gotta put WD-40 on it. I don't want it.
Gotta get in there somehow. Pause. All right. Well, enough of that rated R content. Moving on. Those were all the questions we had this week, though, guys. With that being said, you guys have your questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. We'll answer any of them. Obviously, as you can tell from Damon's, he never disappoints. I'm really interested to see how lower we can go after this point. But back right onto this week's topics. Drew, were you going to say? I heard someone about to say something.
Give me people I know next time.
You know Billy Handsome and Dr.
I know Billy Handsome. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm marrying Billy.
That's guaranteed.
It's the only dude I know.
Fair enough.
Dr. Moody is the dude or the girl from Terminus.
I told
it's a woman?
Yeah, it's that. It's the Indian chick from Terminus, the one that's like in the sub. And then
you said dude.
No, I said woman. Dalton might have said dude. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not changing my answer. She was kind of a cunt.
Yeah, I don't think you're doing. I don't think you're putting her anywhere else in that category.
She was kind of a bitch.
Kinda.
Yeah, she got ate by a fucking Leviathan for a reason.
I think you could not say kind of, but she was.
Well, I don't really know her that well. I didn't get to know her on personal level.
I didn't get to know her that well. Definitely need a second encounter, Drew. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Take her to Applebee's, boy. I swear to God, I might be changing this list. I'm gonna treat her
a couple drinks in, she might not look that bad. You might be pushing Billy to the side. All right. Well, again, enough of that. Let's jump straight into this week's topics and questions that I have lined up. Like I said, we're talking alongside the casual and hardcore player base when it comes to zombies, because obviously those are two completely different sides of zombies, obviously. And to kind of start off, I want to see both your guys' perspective on what you would consider. To start off, I mean, we'll get into cat or hardcore, but just to start off, what would you guys consider to be a casual zombies player?
So, okay, hear me out. Somebody who plays the game casually.
Well, yes.
I mean, like, it's probably usually the friend that gets drug along most of the time. Like, the dude that don't really care to do much other than hang out. So he'll, like, hold the zombie or, like, run to high rounds with his buddy for a certain amount of time. Casual players just don't really care about too much. Yeah, Mr. Bird, he's hanging out.
Mr. Bird, welcome in. He's got his own opinions on this. Okay. So I obviously that's a pretty like simple, quick question. I don't think there's any other way you could really describe a casual player besides somebody that just kind of likes playing the game as it was intended back in Noct, just to survive and not really care to get high rounds, but obviously might try to get to that point, see how far they can go, but they're not like spending, copious amount of, absurd amount of hours to do Easter eggs and all that. But could you say casual players try to learn the lore at any point in time? Like, do you think casual players like the lore, or are they just in it just to play? Like, they just like the gameplay mechanics and they like the idea of just killing zombies and just surviving?
I mean, based off your description, I'm like a textbook casual player.
To a certain extent, I would say you are to a certain extent. Well,
I
but
don't
you
care
don't.
about
But you
lore. I
don't.
don't care about Easter eggs. I don't do high rounds. I just like playing the game for the game.
But I know you
I
like watching like high round strategies and stuff like that. So that's where I was kind of like teeter tottering on that a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah, I just like to know things about the game.
Okay. So you are a textbook casual player. You don't care if to do Easter eggs, but you'll do them if if we want you to join
Yeah, if
us
y'all
and
want
try
to
it
do it, hell
out.
yeah. Like it's just
Exactly.
playing the game with me.
Okay. So okay, that makes sense. I like that. No, that makes sense. Okay. And then obviously I would say me and Dalton are definitely on the hardcore side of things, specifically the lore and Easter egg side of things. But speaking of hardcore, so obviously a hardcore player would be the guys that love doing Easter eggs, love going for high round strategies and stuff like that, learning the complicated story that are, that this game mode entails. So we've got that out the way. Obviously, we've got that out the way. There are two different play styles overall, right? Um, do you think? I want to hear. I'll ask that way. There's no like. I know there's a little bit of a pause between me because I know it's like a little hesitation. Who's going to answer first? So I'll just ask one of you guys first. Dalton, do you think? Because I'll ask you first because obviously you probably have a lot more experience. Do you think in modern zombies, and I would say like from Cold War to now, do you think they have appealed to both fan bases pretty well, like pretty evenly, if that makes any sense?
Evenly, I would say probably. I don't know because that's dumb. I got to sit up in my chair. That's a tough question.
You lean
Um,
forward a little bit.
I mean, I would say yes. I think they have evenly, but at the same time, they're shifting more focus onto casual players. So, like, technically, it's not even, if that makes sense, because they're shifting more focus toward the casual players. So, like, I feel like that's maybe why Easter eggs don't get as many steps or whatever, because they have a certain amount of people or team or whatever doing like standard. So, feel like the little pieces might get, kind of tossed out that way. But at the same time, we're still getting Easter eggs. We're getting like the little, like I'm pretty sure in most of the maps, it's the most side Easter eggs technically ever in any zombies maps that we've had.
Mhm.
So the casual player isn't going to go out and do those unless they like find them themselves or whatever. But I was going to say yes and no. It's like a very tough question because I feel like the hardcore players are not having as good of an experience because they're focusing more on casual, but they didn't used to focus on casual as much or making zombies more appealing to everybody. Zombies was more niche back in the day. That makes sense.
It
So I would
it
say they're
definitely
trying to
was.
make it appeal to everybody. Um, so in that case, they're like catering more to the casual player than the hardcore players. But I mean, like the hardcore players are still getting Easter eggs and stuff like that. They're just lacking now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I think the sheer amount of time it takes to solve an Easter egg and the steps that lead up to it um shows that like they're trying their best to really do both, but obviously a lot of the focus is on the casual player base, like you said, with because even with directed mode, like I don't think the difficulty necessarily changes besides maybe the boss fight, I would say. I think really just with the differences with directed mode is they're just holding your hand. Like I just feel like it feels the same. Obviously, it feels a little bit easier, maybe. Like it just feels like they're just holding your hand through the entire process instead of like making it just a little bit easier and then having that standard a little bit more difficult. Maybe adding an extra step or two, making the boss fight a little bit more difficult. Maybe he has like a tad bit more health, stuff like that. Um, yeah,
Yeah, because I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say I feel like World War II did kind of casual versus hardcore player Easter egg wise very well. Where it was like you load into the same map and you can do like the easy part of the Easter egg and you could stop there, easy peasy. But then there was another hardcore part, but they weren't very good at doing that. But the idea was there. And then with this, you have like directed mode, and I feel like the idea is there, but I feel like what should happen is make the Easter eggs longer on the normal map and stuff. Where if somebody does want to do an Easter egg, you minus a couple steps or you shorten steps instead of like, having to go to 5 different locations to look for a part. There's only 2 in directed. You know what I mean? Or something of that nature where it cuts down the time, if that makes sense, more than anything. But take out a couple steps or make it like make the I don't know, cut out steps, add steps if it's hardcore kind of thing. Like separate them in a way, but overall get to the same place if that makes sense. Like the I'm trying to think of like an example because you don't really know with like Attack of the Radioactive Thing, but you have to go around the map and there's like you have to get a set of numbers and then there's like 3 gas valves around the map in like directed mode. Instead of having to go to all 3 and then do it for each 3, 2 are already set, so you go to 1 instead for directed mode if you want to do a step like that, but like shorten it so it's easier for somebody to kind of understand it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Being able to like obviously steps like that you can easily mold to where you don't have to do all of them. You just have to do like a
Yeah.
select few. You know what I mean? I feel like in
Hmm.
Black Ops 3 you can't do that. Like you can't really change up a lot of maybe you could say get less wisps in the wisp step instead of getting like what is it 5 or whatever. You have to do a little bit more. You have to get you have to get a little less. Maybe you only hit 3 and they're all in like a specific close proximity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I'm saying.
but I feel like with modern day Easter eggs, I feel like that's very much possible to where they can add a couple extra things into the standard and keep it a little bit more bare bones simple in the directed while still holding your hand. And then obviously there's that because I feel like there needs to be a huge step up going from directed mode to standard because I feel like even
Correct.
if even if you go from directed to standard, I feel like people going to standard trying to learn the Easter egg are still going to pull up guides, still going to look up the
Yeah.
steps, still going to try and figure it out, right? Until they get good at it to where they don't have to do that kind of stuff. But even then, like I feel like there needs to be like a up in difficulty, or like how Drew brought up a while ago. I feel like you could do that with super Easter eggs. Make a super Easter egg to where now every map has a hardcore mode and it's a like you get a little bit of a reward with it, but it's a little bit more difficult, like way difficult. You know what I mean? And you get bigger rewards for completing that. Um what about you, Drew? What do you think about all that?
I mean, you have a decent balance in terms of like their allocation of time, I feel. Because zombies initially started as a casual thing, really. I mean, they fucked around with difficulty. It was initially way harder, but it was all they had, so there was nothing to make easier. I mean, you can also count that Black Ops 1 was way easier than World at War as a casual player base. I mean, it's always been that way. You got to think, like, your best weapons are random chance. It's in the box. You hit it, everyone has the exact same chance. Don't matter how good you are, you can get the thunder gun just as fast as I can. Um, it's always had a good balance to it. I just feel like it's the gameplay and story are really suffering. So it's hard for me to give it like which one of those sides are taking the hit on that. You know what I mean? Because gameplay would technically hit both of them. And I mean, same for story to me. I mean, I'm a casual player. I just also like to know what the hell I'm doing. Like zombies is fun, but I also like to know what's going on this map. It kind of makes me feel like more involved in it. I have more fun with that. So, I mean, yeah, it gets a good split on both. I can't say one side or the other are particularly like blowing shit out the water in terms of like, oh no, dude, you get like 75 hits before a down and you run like Mach 7. No, like you get paced pretty good and you can go down if you fuck around too much. So I gotta say it's pretty even split.
I don't know if I mean, yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. I still think that they could make, I don't know, they could appeal to the hardcore fan base a little bit more. And then maybe they will, because we still don't know if there's a fucking super Easter egg to this game or not, to
Well, the
Black Ops
problem is
6.
that they've got a progressive stance on every game is easier than, like, as soon as you hit Black Ops 3, or not even that, like Black Ops 2, you already start getting to like, oh, okay. Like I could fuck around just about as much as I want in the last couple of maps. The first couple are a pain in the ass, but that's because it was the same dude whose name I can never remember. And then you get to Blundell, and Blundell's like, yeah, I'll give you the vitriolic withering. It's just like a bunch of fucking mini monkey bombs and a gun, and then you get the paralyzer in the next map and shit like that, and the stabs, and from there it's just progressively easier. You hit Black Ops 3, you outpace just about everything, and Gobblegums, goddamn Gobblegums are just a fucking infinite pit of you no longer have to be good at it. If you have enough Gobblegums, you can literally do whatever the fuck you want in that game.
That's true. You definitely can,
Yeah.
because you have access to Perkaholics and you have access to a free Wonder Weapon pretty much and all that. Not free, but you have to spend,
But
$9.50 to get out of the
granted,
box.
you don't have to use them.
No,
That
I'm
is
not
true.
saying
Yeah,
you do.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying we're always that's you can say that for a lot of things though. But you're always like leaning toward not you, but you know what I mean. Call of Duty is always leaning toward trying to get more people to play that game mode, any of their game modes, because then you get extra money. I mean, it's just an infinite money pit. As much
Yeah.
as I love the game and everything,
Infinite money glitch.
yeah, it's going downhill, dude. Shit.
Yeah, it's I don't know, because like I feel like there's certain gobblegums that shouldn't be in the game. I don't know, like I mean, like I feel like if you change the perk system a little bit, you could get rid of Perkaholic. Like up it to like in modern day zombies, you want to be able to like not have a perk limit, then don't give us Perkaholic. My thing, kind of make it a trade off. Where if we do get a perk limit, then give us a gobblegum like soda fountain. I don't know, but it also just if you want like a nice easy run, I mean you could do that as well. I don't know. I like the versatility, honestly. How you can play. I wish it was because I feel like just the BO6 specifically, like you can do an Easter egg without any gobblegums. I don't want to say no problem, but like pretty close to no problem. Like the only thing gobblegums do is expedite the run, my opinion. So if you want a quicker experience.
And like Dalton was saying, I feel like I think gobblegums are okay. They just need to find a way to like not make it monetized, or you buy it like it's not a microtransaction. And
Correct.
like Dalton said before, like I don't like Perkaholic isn't really worth it. It just helps you it just saves you time, because you're still gonna get every perk in the game. It's just gonna save you a lot of time from getting every single perk. And where as in, the older games, like in Black Ops 3, for example, your limit is 4 without gobblegums. So a Perkaholic is way more useful in that matter. It's not as like in this game where I would say it's not even that important. Like Drew was saying, like you really don't. I feel like you really don't need them. They just kind of make your run a way easier, and you just save a lot of time, which I don't think that's what they should be used for. I don't know, unless you have like a round robin or something to that effect. You know what I mean?
I mean, what do you want a Gobblegum to do if not to make the game easier, though?
No, I don't mind if it makes it easier, but like what I'm saying is like going back to the
Pay
perk
to
thing
win.
is like it's like again like if the game had a perk limit, Perkaholic would be great, right? You know what I mean? Like that would make that useful in my opinion, and it would be good to have. Like I feel like Perkaholic isn't good to have. I feel like gobblegums are good, are fine to kind of help your experience, like temporal time gift or whatever it's called. That's a good gobblegum. It's not
Mhm.
OP, but you pop it, you pick up a double points, you get it for what 60 seconds now instead of 30. That's not
Mhm.
OP, but that's good. You know what I mean? Or other ones like what's that? What's the nuke one that we have now that we've been using a lot?
Oh.
Nuclear immolation.
Oh no,
No, it's
nuclear did this. What the
yeah,
hell is it?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so that one specifically, that one's not bad. It's not OP, but if you get a nuke set of
Nuclear
400,
diffusion or something.
diffusion, that's what it is. Instead
Yeah.
of 400 points, you get 2,000, and you don't kill all the zombies, so you can get more points now. I feel like it's just like the old. I feel like I guess you could say like the ultra ones are just kind of useless, and so like the perk ones are useless. The salvage is kind of useless. You know what I mean? Maybe or not salvage, but like where you can get your gun up to gold on round one
Yeah,
type
hidden
shit.
power.
Hidden power, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely like it revolves around the game mechanics a little bit, and it would greatly be more useful like they were and I don't think I even used that much in Black Ops 3, because in Black Ops 3 you were limited to only 5 a match. In modern zombies, you can have as many packs as you could
Yeah.
create every single pack and have every single gobblegum available to you in each game. All you would have to do is just switch the pack and spin the gobblegum machine, because in this game you have unlimited spins, no cost.
Yeah, that's
You just have to
also a
wait a
little
few
bit.
seconds. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that's
little.
also because what I feel like could be done is you get directed mode, which you're able to use gobblegums. You get standard mode, which you're able to use gobblegums. But then I feel like there should be a mode where it's no gobblegums, no gobblegums, not like classic zombies, but no gobblegums. Boom, this is it. It's like hardcore. You know what I mean? Kind of like how BO4 did it with realistic or whatever. I would like
Mhm.
to see that make a comeback. I think that would be cool. I think that would kind of, and in that hardcore mode, maybe add those extra couple steps instead of doing it in standard. But like my thing is, if you're gonna have a directed mode and stuff, you got to make standard and or hardcore like not handheld whatsoever. Like you should not have to go into directed, but somebody brand new to zombies should be able to hop into directed, be able to get as far as they can, pick up what they need to pick up, and like skill wise and knowledge wise of the map, where they should be able to hop in standard, and even though they may have to pull up a guide, they can still beat the Easter egg. But then for us hardcore players, you get that extra boom of the hardcore where it's like no gobblegums, kind of like classic zombies. You can there's extra steps, or it's harder steps. So instead of like a soul box that needs 20 kills, it now needs like 50 kills or something. And so it gives you that incentive to, keep going, because if you want to, it's impossible with one product to please both sides. If you're splitting us into two, which casual and hardcore players, you're not going to get like somebody or like multiple people out of those groups, or one side isn't going to like the product you produce. So like Drew was saying, the more I think about it, in this day and age, they have the most people able to like use to produce a game or develop a game. So why can't we just get like another mode kind of like that and cater to all aspects, where it's like you have the average player who will play on standard and maybe sometimes go for hardcore, or you have the hardcore players where they're always in hardcore and then they go maybe to standard to chill out, or kind of do shit like that. But granted, if you're going to do like a reward system, like when you beat a map, you get a skin or whatever, make it where directed, you get just like XP, standard, you get something, and then hardcore, that's when it starts getting into the zombie specialty items, whether it be a skin you can only use in zombies, or like a Richtofen skin, or just like kind of something like of that nature, you know what I mean? That caters to the fan base of the hardcore players, where if somebody who wants to start getting into zombies, they're like, oh, that's super cool. I've played a lot of zombies this game. Let's go for the hardcore Easter egg. And then boom, and then it gets people kind of everything they want.
I can see. I agree with you on that. I can see that. I think we should just. I just don't think gobblegum should be in the game in general, or at least it should not be a microtransaction, which I will point out they did mention before this game came out that they were not going to be bought, like, not going to be a microtransaction, and that did not last long.
Kind of tossing off of that, what do y'all think was the best map for a casual and hardcore? What do you think met in the middle, I would say?
Ooh. It's a good one.
Honestly, that is a good one. I would say probably like Dryasdrak.
That's what I was kind of leaning towards. It was
Dryasdrak, or maybe even like Origins, I think, because it doesn't take a hardcore player to look up a guide on how to get one certain bow or one certain staff. You know what I mean? So you can enjoy, like, if you're good enough to open the full map, get power on, you're able to experience Pack-a-Punch on a big map with a cool environment, and also experience the wonder weapon of that map, even if people don't ever upgrade them. You know what I mean? You can still experience that map very well. And then it touches on the hardcore players as well, where you are able to upgrade 4 staffs. You're able to get 4 staffs. You're able to, or like, you have to constantly be on your toes about the generators and stuff. And then Dryasdrak, same thing. It's very casual, where a casual player can go kind of first time playing, opening the map. They could accidentally learn how to get the bow pretty easy, like the regular just bow, and you can have fun with that. And then, Panzer comes in. I feel like that's a good thing. That's like for a casual zombies player, a Panzer round is probably like, holy shit, dude! Like, you die the first time, you die the second time, you're like, oh, we gotta figure out how to beat this guy. Like, how are we gonna beat him? Kind of thing. It's like, we gotta get Pack-a-Punch, and so I feel like those 2 maps, especially because when you start getting into like maybe just like a fan favorite map of like Mob or something like that, the layout is a lot harder to grasp, and there's so much stuff to do where it's like, I feel like casual players can get kind of overwhelmed with the whole Afterlife system and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if I could. So, like, I kind of see you're coming from with Origins. I don't want to say Origins is good for casual because I feel like that map in general is just harder. But I agree with you on Dryasdrak because I feel like that map is a little bit easier. Because when I think
thought he meant to like play casually, or
You
for
can.
casual players.
You can, but I'm saying, like, I feel like Origins is a little bit harder though. Even playing casually with the Panzer, with the tight quarters, with the mud, you know what I mean? Turn on all the generators. I can kind of. I mean, maybe I'm not like trying to shit on you or your. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't think I could. Because I was going to say Origins, but I don't think I could put Origins in a casual. I think Origin is a start of a start of hardcore almost. You know what I mean?
Because
Maybe.
when I think of Origins, when I would play Origins, I would always play with Cole, who we went to high school with, and he had an
Mhm.
Xbox 360. And we would always play Origins, and the only staff we knew how to get was Wind, because we figured out how to get into like the robots
Hell
or
yeah,
whatever.
baby.
So it was alternating game who would get the Wind staff or whatever. Like, we didn't even try and look for other staffs. It was just like, it was fun to play. And then I specifically remember the Panzer round always being like a pain in the ass. So we were always like, dude, you have the staff. Come here. He's on me. He's on me. You know what I mean? Like, it was a
Mhm.
fun, casual map where you could learn and feel like you're getting very far. And then going back and doing the Easter egg after learning the map and becoming more of a hardcore zombies player, I was like, dude, we were scratching the surface, brother. God almighty. So I feel like that's why I would throw Origins in there, just because of the depth level that it could go, if that makes sense, for the hardcore players, but also what the casual player is able to unlock and explore by themselves. Yeah, because it is a harder map, yes, but it's once you get to the dig site, I mean, like, there's a difference between being a casual player and you sucking.
Mm.
So
especially if you're playing like
you
BO3.
could play. I was gonna say, you could play video games a hell of a lot, be a casual player, and not go down fucking 15 times in a match. You know what I mean? So that's why I would say Origins, and then DE. I would honestly,
I can agree with you on DE.
because I would put DE a little bit lower than Origins in that, just because of yes, you get to upgrade the bows, and then you do a little bit of steps after. But I feel like Origins is more complex. The only
It
reason I would
is.
put DE above it, if we're regarding that manner, is just lore wise and stuff that you learn from DE that it has. Like with
Yeah.
Leroy and then the whole Dempsey situation. And yeah.
Because like with DE, like you're getting a bow no matter what. Like a casual player can get a bow, like just a standard bow, right? And then they can look up guides, and obviously probably one of the easier ones would probably be the wolf, probably, and then like
Or
the
lightning.
lightning, yeah, like one of those two, the storm, whatever you want to call it. And then obviously I would say the fire and void are two of the most difficult of those four. And like you can still play casual. Pack punch is easy to get. You just activate
Yep.
2 pack punch stations, and the other one's going to spawn in compared to doing the generators. But I really can't think of any other map that would do that. Because I mean, honestly, when I think of hardcore, I think of not
BO4.
just yeah. Well, I'm talking like Easter eggs and high rounds, right? I feel like high rounds on Origins could be a little bit easier because you have the bows, right? Or I mean, you have the staves. But like, you know, if you want to talk hardcore, you could say Kino, because Kino might be a lot harder to get high rounds, maybe if you don't study up on that stuff too much, like Drew.
Yeah.
But it's good casual. It's a good casual map, you know, just to play, and you know, you could just sit down for a couple minutes, grind out a couple rounds, and see how far you get. But I mean, honestly, yeah, I feel like that's a good question. That's a tough one, and I would have to say. I mean, honestly, though, you could also say maybe some of the most modern maps, like
I
Citadel,
don't
because
think they're very fun for hardcore players, brother.
they're not. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, they're not. I'm trying to like, because I don't want to focus solely on the older games. I want to try to think of like the most modern games and see like I don't leave
I
anything
mean,
out, you know. But
The Reckoning, then. I mean, that's
ma-
your or
no,
the Citadel.
well,
Citadel game
Reckoning
or
could be because of Richtofen, but then again, people found those meta. Fucking, I hate saying that, those meta classes, and then you know makes it so fucking easy.
well, I was gonna say when you guys talking about newer stuff, you know what else I would kind of also throw in there? I mean, like it is difficult, but it appeals to the casual fan just because it's like holy shit, you know what I mean? But it
Mhm.
also digs deep into the hardcore. I would also say Moon.
okay.
I always
I
used
can
to
see
play
that.
Moon. Like I only had Moon on BO1 when I was younger. Granted, I was a very casual zombies player at that point. Like I didn't look into anything. If I got the fucking wave gun from the box, I was just lucky that game. You know what I mean? And so, um, casual, I always thought Moon was fun. Granted, as hardcore, I don't think it's as fun as it is more like tedious and RNG and stuff. But I mean, like it does appeal to the hardcore fan base, I guess you could say. I think because that's how I'm kind of judging it. Where like a casual fan thinks it looks cool, they're willing to play it, and then they're not going to do much. They're just going to have to enjoy the map, kind of thing, because the layout for Moon isn't too bad. And then you have like hardcore, where it does have Easter eggs. It has to be able to progress doing it. It makes it like harder for the hardcore player. You know what I mean? That's how I'm kind of judging it.
I see what you mean. What about you, Drew? What do you think? 'Cause this is your question.
Yeah, well, what was your answer? Horizon Rock?
Yeah, I was gonna say Horizon. I really can't think of anything else. I mean, I feel like that's a good in between when it comes to those two type of categories.
All right. I have a similar problem with Dalton, where I got a couple that bounce around in my head, but they're for different reasons. So one that I think is less agreeable, but just stuck in my head immediately is Town. Like I don't know why, but I always found Town to be like the perfect balance. Because if you were a hardcore player and you're in BO2 at the very start, it's between fucking Transit, Nuketown, and Town. Like you really ain't got a lot to go with. And Nuketown was such a pain in the dick. So I remember a lot of people playing Town and like learning how to run trains and avoid blowing up zombies and shit. And then obviously that's when me and you kind of picked up Draven playing like
Mm-hmm.
semi trying, like figuring out like we can run from one area to another and like that. So, but we also hid in the fucking alleyway a lot and screamed out when we were reloading just to try to
Mm-hmm.
fucking get an extra round or two. Like, it was fun.
It was.
But then you also get shit like Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead, you get the Afterlife. Afterlife will save a new player fucking over and over as long as he can just pop to the next round. Like, that's a good way of keeping a dude alive. It's pretty much a permanent, useful who's who
Mhm.
with Zappy ability, which is fun. You get like how Dalton was talking about earlier with the Panzer being like a good introduction to like boss zombies and shit. I feel like Brutus is a hell of a way to get people to be like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? Obviously, hardcore players love the hell out of that map. You just have a bunch of fun lore implications with the Weasel and all the other three dudes and how that story goes, what happens in the future, comic book strips, ciphers, high rounds, all that shit. Like the Mob of the Dead has just about everything. And then you get Buried. Buried is just, it's a perfect go-to, I think. You get perma perks, which they're made for new players. And I mean, you really can't get past that. That shit right there is just a really good way of helping a dude or really a child at that point in time. A lot of kids were trying that shit out and being like, I'm gonna just stick around here and shoot a zombies through the window with the Olympia a bunch of times. Eventually, they'd get the ray gun from it and be like, yeah, boy. And they just start running off. Put your gun wherever you want, helped you out. Plus, if you were a hardcore player, you could strategize what the hell you were doing. You could pretty much get yourself set up. You had the bank to help you out. That was for both hardcore players and new players, because new players could take over like 5,000 or 6,000 points. Hardcore player, you had 200,000 points stacked in that motherfucker, and you were just waiting to pull it out. The bank, new player, if he got his favorite gun, because a lot of the times you weren't even thinking about what's the best weapon. Because like you might know something's better than another weapon, but you might prefer one. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you don't have to be like min maxing whenever you were having fun when you were younger. Like I know we all had a weapon we really liked that as we got older we were like, yeah, that was kind of shit, but I like it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Okay.
I think any of those three would fill in that slot perfectly.
Okay. I agree. I can see that. Definitely Buried.
Yeah.
I like Buried because, you know, not only that, but you have that sandboxy feel with the chalk drawings that gives you extra points. That definitely helps out a player early on. And they've got, you know, good old Leroy Jenkins to help them out. Yeah. All right. I like it. Okay. Drew coming in hot with a question. I know, like I said, me and Drew both got our own questions written up here. So we're just kind of going back and forth. But with that, I have one. And I want to see your guys' opinion. Do you think zombies ever got to a point, and I think there's an obvious answer, maybe, probably, where it was solely hardcore, and if so, when?
What?
I was
What,
about to say, I'm sorry, I was texting. Could you repeat that shit?
like,
No, I just didn't understand.
was there a point where zombies, like a specific game, like where zombies got too hardcore? Like it was
Yeah, BO4.
okay,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know about all that, man.
I would say
Nah,
BO4 too. BO4 got really
BO4.
complicated.
I wouldn't say it got too complicated, but it got. I feel like you should have some complex maps plural or map in a game that involves the story. Something kind of long, stretched out. Pause. But an Easter egg that is longer, more steps, harder steps. So yeah. But BO4, it was like every map just seemed to get a little bit harder, and then we got a little bit of a break, and then it was just hard again.
Okay. So
It
BO4
was
is
like,
where you would say is where it definitely got like very, very much hardcore. Like very, especially on the side of East. And I would even say map difficulty in that matter. I would even say like, you know, it definitely got harder in some maps. I feel like, you know, it definitely got pretty difficult. Maybe you could say, which is not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. Because obviously they had custom mutations, so you were able to make the game what you wanted it to be, you know, if you were a casual player, you know what I mean? And you could, you know, tune down the settings and up your health and add points, So they were, they at least they had it to where, you could do stuff like that. But yeah, I would
Mhm.
agree. Like it definitely that was like one of the harder zombies experiences in my opinion. And I don't know, I know Drew, you probably don't maybe have too much to say about that because obviously you really only got to BO3.
I'll say the same thing I said earlier. I say the game's only gotten easier since that shit's began. But it did kind of peak out toward the end of BO1, beginning of BO2.
I
Like,
would say that
mainly,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go.
Canadian standoff again. Fuck.
No,
If
you
you
good.
have, I got you, please, sir.
No, please.
You
Sorry.
have you have that cutoff where I think you said it was Blundell, right? Takes over at Mob of the Dead.
Yeah, right around that time. Yep.
Like before that, they were intentionally pushing the community to be like, "Oh, you assholes think shit's easy?" Like they made fucking Die Rise, Nuketown. Transit wasn't meant to be hard, but it was just a pain in the goddamn dick to do anything on that fucking map. You had to build everything and then go all the way around the map. Hope to God you didn't miss the fucking bus, because if you did, you're gonna be waiting a while. It's such a stupid ass like conglomeration of trying to make it difficult and mysterious, where it just made it like nonsensical in a way that was too difficult, I think. Like NWO1 was different. NWO1 was just a lot of RNG for no fucking reason. It was like, oh, you want to do the moon Easter egg? Dude, you got to get like 2 legendary equipments, or 3. You got to get the fucking wonder weapon from the map. You got to hope to God the excavator doesn't go down on this side of the map, because if it does, you got to fucking reset. You got to do this with the PEQ. You got to do that. Hope to God this motherfucker don't grab you and reset random ass perk. I think a lot of things just they were trying to make it difficult. It was still really fun, don't get me wrong. But I think that's where like just straight up difficulty peaked out. Where like if you were trying to do anything without like a good enough experience on it, you were just going to get your ass wiped no matter what. Like we can do Easter eggs in one shot nowadays, just following along with a guide. If we've played the map like one time, just fucking around on it, then we're like, let's look up a guide real quick. Like we can beat a bunch of maps nowadays, but like those older ones, it would take you a lot of fucking tries, even knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if anything, it peaked I can kind of see where you're coming from, but definitely like I would say Black Ops 3 got a little bit more complex with the Easter eggs. I think Black Ops 1 was tedious with its Easter eggs up until Buried, I would say maybe. But I would feel
Black
like
Ops 2.
yeah. And then like Black Ops 3 got a little bit more tedious where it's not impossible, but you might not get it on your first couple tries. And then BO4 is like extremely difficult. And then after that, Cold War is kinda just I would say is a good middle ground. In some cases, I remember like failing the Marauder Totem boss fight multiple times. But the Easter egg was easy, but the boss fight was difficult. Stuff like that. And then obviously in modern time in Black Ops 6, and all that other jazz, it's definitely way easier, way more casual. Which, some people might not find a bad thing. I mean, that's what comes down to opinions, obviously.
Well, didn't y'all think Garage Trophy was like the hardest Easter egg y'all done?
I would say it's the most tedious.
I don't know about hardest, but it's because it's like overall it's not a super hard Easter egg. It's one step.
Fucking bomb step. I mean, you could even say, Zetsubo's tedious.
So what's your definition of difficult then? Just like how many steps are involved?
No,
I mean,
not for me. Because I like it. Like I think you should have steps where you have to interact with certain things or do certain things, and it should take up time in the Easter egg. Like you're going on a journey, a quest. Difficulty is maybe the step itself, or just how tough the map is and how it plays into the Easter egg. Like having to do like an escort step in Go Rod from spawn to the room, going through like the kind of tight tunnels and rooms that you get. I mean, I wouldn't say it's an overall difficult Easter egg, but it's like up there. I guess I don't know because
Mm.
we hop back on it after years, and we got like halfway through it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we almost. I
You
mean,
know what
we
I
almost
mean?
got there. Yeah.
So I would have to say like BO4 for me has the hardest Easter eggs and steps, because the steps are difficult. What you have to do is difficult. Um, like fucking ask Fox about the Blood of the Dead step that he loves.
I fucking Blood of the Dead is just it is difficult and tedious at the same time. All those bird locations, and I know there's little ways around it, you know, but like in Blood of the Dead it's specifically, that fucking challenge where you have to do 5 or 4 different challenges is just ridiculously tedious. And obviously Blundell is like, "Oh, you guys wanted harder Easter eggs? Hold my coffee, you know, hold my beer, whatever you want to say." Yeah, no, BO4 was difficult. Like that is my definition of a difficult Easter egg, is where like you're gonna be in the high rounds when you do this, and you can't save a zombie, you can't make a crawler, you know, it's gonna be a lot harder solo, obviously. Um, you know, so yeah, I would say that. Especially
Mm.
like, you know, again, and in modern times it's just super easy. You can do it first try, you know. I mean, I think we definitely failed a map maybe once or twice in BO6. Because
Yeah,
we're just
I
figuring
know we
out
failed Shattered Veil, the boss fight,
the first
once.
time, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I would say that, yeah, Black Ops 4 is where it
All
definitely
right.
peaked in terms of like that's when it got extremely hardcore, and then obviously it dwindled back down slowly to where it's at now.
I guess I just lack that experience in BO4 then.
You do. That's where it gets a
Maybe
little
yeah,
different with all of us. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe that's that
They're
only
cool
difference.
maps. They're just like, I remember just looking at, because like I was always a Zombies fan, and then when BO4 came out, I kind of switched to like Xbox, I want to say, or I was on PC or starting. Um,
Hmm.
and I didn't really play a lot of Zombies in BO4 when it was out. But like, you know, anytime a new map would come out, I'd look at an Easter egg guide, and if an Easter egg guide is like 30 fucking minutes, bruh, I know it's gonna be a difficult bitch. So, and
Mhm.
that's how it was in all BO4. And I would like skim through the video, and it's like, all right, so what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to find his left pinky toe. It cannot be the big toe. It can't be the ring toe. It has to be the pinky toe, specifically left pinky toe. And I'm like, oh yeah, this shit ain't for me, homie.
Yeah, when I got to that challenge 7 blood, I was like, I ain't doing this. Not unless I got somebody with me. I ain't doing this. I refuse. Okay. Drew, did you have a question? I know you said you have some questions lined up. Do you have any
Oh,
more
I
questions?
got a good couple of them. Yeah.
Let's hear it. Let's
Um.
hear it.
So I know all of us started out as casual players, which I would call it somebody that didn't really look into the lore as much. So we might have done like an Easter egg song or something, and then eventually like found our way into the hardcore area. Um,
Mm-hmm.
none of us had like an older sibling that brought us into zombies, so we like threw right into the pan. We all like gradually stepped in. Um, what's something that y'all remember experiencing that I want to say turned y'all away, but obviously none of us like stepped out. What's something y'all experienced that made y'all not want to keep going as much as you were? You know what I mean? What's something that kind of halted you? Like whether it was like the first Easter egg y'all did had like a stupid ass set of steps in it, or you kept going down early on. Like what was fucking with y'all?
Oh, I can. I'd like to lead this question off,
Go
actually.
ahead.
There's been, I can say, at least 2 games that I played the first, second map, and I didn't touch again. Still haven't played them to this day. And
Hmm.
it's just, I didn't think they were a great zombies experience at the time. And going back, like maybe if I go back and play like these games, then I'll have a different opinion on it. But I'll definitely say World War II. And if I have to like pinpoint specifically, I remember trying to get somebody or the zombie's spine on the second map or the first map. I don't even remember. Having to get his spine was awful.
Mhm.
And then honestly, BO4. I tried 9 multiple times, didn't get like anywhere close, didn't really understand with the perk system, at the time didn't really like how they did it. So it was one of those things of just like blind ignorance where I was like, it's not what I want, I'm not gonna play it. But I am
Hmm.
starting to go back to BO4, and BO4 is pretty solid, shall I say. It is pretty solid. So definitely gonna give it another chance whenever me and Fox can get our freaking internet thing straightened out.
Yes, we need to get that figured out. It's really aggravating. Really aggravating. Um, we'll definitely do more Black Ops 4 streams when that happens. All right. Well, for me, I will say that it's very hard for me not to play zombies. It's very hard for me not to turn away from zombies. I have played every single experience, even Vanguard. I definitely put a little bit of time in Vanguard. I mean, I'm gonna give every experience a opportunity and try and find the shining star in there in the black hole that is some games like Vanguard, World War II, and Exo Zombies that I like out of them. Um, I think there's a couple of things that drew me away from zombies and made me stop playing either a specific experience or just, kind of lost faith at some point in time. And at first, it was Transit. Even though it did have town, I was like, I hope not every map is like this going forward into the DLC season. That's when I really started buying DLCs, and me and Drew definitely played a lot more and kept up a lot more. And I was like, I really hope this doesn't continue. And then obviously we had Die Rise, which was pretty scary. And that's when I was like, oh god, what's started to be like, all right, I don't know if I really want to play this anymore. I definitely went towards more the multiplayer side of things at that point. You know what I mean? Or maybe just even going back to older games. That especially Exo Zombies definitely only made it up to like the second map, and I was like, I'm never touching this ever again. Never. I'm not buying the DLC. Not not doing it. Exo Zombies terrible. Real quick though, I will say the introduction to that zombies experience was phenomenal. It was so cool. But god damn, did it hit a brick wall after that first map, or on that first map, and then going forward. Um, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. That was one of the best like intro sequences to a zombies experience ever in the survival mode, where at the very end, you got that bonus round where it teases zombies, and it is the coolest experience I've ever felt in my life. Or like seeing that was so sick. And god, did it just blue balls, straight blue balls. Um, And then maybe even Cold War. I mean, even Cold War drew me off a little bit. Like that's definitely a game that like I definitely like. I like D Machine, but after that, I just didn't like any of the other maps.
Yeah, I
Even
was
in
gonna
the
say honestly, I
Forsaken.
didn't really play a lot of that either.
Mm-hmm. It definitely
I
wasn't really
played
the
the one with the
best.
pistol,
The Crystal?
and then
We talking
no, I
about
didn't play the
pistol?
one with the Crystal X.
What pistol?
The
Oh, the
pistol.
Cerberus. The Cerberus.
Yep.
Yeah, the Mauer de Toten.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one either. If I'm being honest. Boss fight was cool, but the map in general I didn't like. I don't know. That's when I started to lose faith until obviously we have Vanguard, so that definitely drew it away. I think definitely Black Ops 6 has brought me back though. Definitely brought me back, 'cause it's not perfect, but it's good. It's a good experience. So yeah, I would say that. I would say Transit definitely started to scare me away. Exo Zombies made me stop playing. Um Up until obviously Black Ops 3 and all that, and then kind of just been like off and on kind of thing. But as of recently, I'm going back and I'm playing all these other experiences again, like IW and Black Ops 4, having a good time, even if I'm struggling with Black Ops 4 Blood of the Dead solo. It's still a fun experience. But yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, honestly, well, I mean, we all know mine.
Yeah. Never mind.
I mean,
You're right.
mine is probably the weirdest one. It's just Black Ops 3. Like the whole thing. I didn't fuck with them changing the entire way that the story was going. So I didn't want them to, take everything in a whole different way. 1 second.
Bird.
Nah, rather was going for a walk, so I was saying bye, getting a kiss real quick.
Oh.
Oh yeah, buddy. You gotta show love.
Hell yeah.
Whenever you I got into it in BO2. Obviously, you were there with me. And we
Mhm.
were sitting there getting into the story details, figuring out what the fuck the Avogadro was, what a denizen was, looking for shit on the walls, trying to figure out what the story was along with the community, because the community wasn't really figuring a lot of shit out back then. We were just
Mhm.
kind of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck. So me and you were actually I don't want to say participating, but we were mainly fucking around, just looking at things. But BO2 and BO1, World at War, all the way through, those stories stuck with me. That's when I got into it really hard, all the way with the Vril and the inner Earth and all that crazy shit. And then BO3 hit. I wasn't really sure about it at first, and then you get to the end of it, and it's two extraterrestrial demigods vying for who's gonna control the timeline. And I was like, I don't want to participate anymore. I love zombies for what it was, story wise. Gameplay wise, it's getting worse. And the story is too. So, I think I just called it early, but yeah, man, something about that. That was just a gradual downfall to me.
Okay. That's a good one. So going back to the casual versus hardcore player base, I mean, there's not, again, at the end of the day, I feel like there's not that big of a difference. No matter what, you guys, I think everybody's playing the same mode. Granted, their reasonings are slightly different. Um, I mean, I guess this is maybe. Do you think? Actually, I think I know the answer. I think this is a very obvious answer. Do you think the lore, up to a certain point, better yet, let me rephrase that. When did you think the lore got too complicated? I think I know the answer for Drew. To where casual players definitely probably couldn't really get into it, maybe, or maybe they could. If that makes any sense. Drew, I
Black
know
Ops 3
you.
can go fuck itself.
Yep, I've had that. Yep, saw that coming.
Honestly, the lore wasn't even hard to get into. It threw it in your face. I wouldn't say that it was hard, but it was just overly complicated to keep up with what is currently happening and what those implications are. Because you hit the multiverse, and that just makes it. Dalton said it in the perfect words before. Anything can fucking happen now.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, and anything's possible in modern, especially in modern zombies. I mean, obviously, as we can see, we're getting the old crew back, and well, even if it's a different version, it's still those characters. You know what I mean? That just can't seem to go away, and whether you like it or you don't like it, you know what I mean. That's your opinion, and um, even though I think that we need to branch off and go somewhere new, um, so yeah, okay. Drew Dalton, what do you think? Do you think there was a point in time where it definitely got kind of out of whack for the casual players, where they were like, "Yeah, we just kind of want to stay over here and just keep surviving"?
Um, I mean, I would say BO3, honestly, just because that's just kind of when, even some, I don't want to say casual players, but even some casual players were starting to get into the lore and stuff like that, like diving deeper into maps. You know what I mean? I feel like Black Ops 3 was I don't want to say the pinnacle of zombies, but I feel like it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, I would say BO3.
Okay. All right, Drew, you got any? You got any other questions you wanted to ask?
I still got a good couple, brother.
Look,
Yeah,
you know,
I can go for a while.
I ran out of my topics because you took
Oh.
one of them earlier, which is not like
Which one?
the what game did the best with pleasing both, like having both good casual and good hardcore. So yeah, go for it.
Okay, then I'll just start at the top.
Hmm.
What's the least favorite casual change they've made?
Hmm.
So, what's something that you noticed during any game that you were playing it that you were like, all right, they've made like obviously this is for other people. Like, I don't want this shit.
Armor.
Okay.
Don't like armor. I think if they made it its own, like you can make the mechanic somewhat similar. I know I talked about this at work with you before, and I forget whose idea was it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter or X, whatever. Somebody had a really good idea with the armor system, and it makes it extremely casual. Like I feel like armor is extremely casual. Like it's super easy instead of like having to remember, you know, shield parts around the map and finding a craft table, building it, and going back and getting it when your shield breaks. I feel like there's obviously it's definitely a lot easier in my opinion, but I feel like they could have made it just a little bit different, you know, to make it more of a zombies thing. Like the person, I don't know who, like I said, I don't know who it was, but you know, they said that instead maybe make it like an essence thing, like when you pick up that orb in the tomb, when you're doing the parasite step, where you have to kill a parasite that's glowing purple, pick up the orb and place it into the statue. Instead of like, you know, keeping that same kind of concept, picking up that orb, you hold it in your hand, you crush it, and that's you replenishing your armor. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. That makes it zombie like while, you know, still being casual, if that makes any sense, and still being extreme. I think it's still easy because all you have to do is just get some points and buy the next armor upgrade, and then zombies are going to drop armor. And, you know, I think it's definitely a way more casual thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that you can take gobblegums. They can chew on them a little bit until they're nice and sharp and pointy, and they can start stuffing them in places. Because those shits were just a cash grab from the fucking day they came out. There was no purpose in them other than to be like, hey, you guys want to give me like $5 and see if you can win over here at the lottery? It's just some goofy ass shit. I don't think it was ever really thought out to be like an actual helpful product as much as it was to get them something in the pocket. You know what I mean?
I mean, in BO3, it was more of a gambling thing, obviously. But Black Ops 6, it's really just buy. I mean, you can earn them, but unless it's double gobblegum, you're not really getting that much, you know, in my opinion.
Fucking thing.
So, yeah, I agree with you on that. What about you, Dalton?
Say again?
What about you?
Oh, the something that casual that they added that I absolutely hate.
Something that they turn casual.
Oh, the Wonder Fizz.
Or adding.
Ooh.
Like modern Wonder Fizz or older Wonder Fizz?
Modern.
I agree.
Okay.
Want to explain why?
Do I want to explain why? Sorry. Yes. My brain's going very slow right now.
Brain.
I mean, I feel like the whole thing of the Wonder Fizz is like fucking like it's gambling. You should, if you're gonna spend that 1,500 points, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get. I hate that a machine comes down at around 25, and I mean by that time, by 25, you should have your gun gold with pack 2, and you could still have enough money to get a decent amount of perks if you want to wait out on triple pack, which you really don't have to triple pack until like 30.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just stupid.
How else would you implement like perks that aren't on that map, or do you just think they shouldn't be there at that point?
No, keep the Wonder Fizz. Just get rid of the machine. Like bring the old machine back.
Bring back the original. I know what he's talking. Bring back the original.
Bring back
Wonder
the one on like
Fizz.
Origins or BO3.
Yeah, where there's multiple locations around the map, but only one's gonna spawn and it can move. It's just like the mystery box. It's a mystery box for perks, and you don't know what you're gonna get. And
Correct.
granted, I don't know how well that would work in today's age. Like, it still would be somewhat the same concept because I mean, there's no perk limit. So like, I feel like with the Wonder Fizz, like Dalton said, like you're spinning it, you're gonna waste 1,500 points. Are you gonna get the perk that you want to throw in that fourth slot or fifth? If you got if you got like an unquenchable or whatever, maybe you earned a free perk slot, and okay, well, Mule Kick just came out. Do I really want to grab Mule Kick or do I want to wait till I get something else like Widow's Wine or Stamina Up? You know what I mean? Something like that. But like nowadays, I mean, it'd be a lot nicer to do that with the Wonder Fizz now, but I think unless we went back to the original like perk limit, I don't think it's still going to be really easy, too easy, too casual in my opinion. But I don't know. That's just me. What about you? Or
I
you
feel
you
you.
said Gobblegums. That's right.
Yeah, I thought Dalton might need an extra second. I didn't know if he ever actually gave a shit about the differences as much as he was more like lore implication. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I would say me and Dalton are very much everything. You know what I
Dalton,
mean?
are you gameplay based at all?
I mean, if it plays well, it plays well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Cause like I think BO3 is a really good engine. I feel like IW isn't a bad engine. It's a little worse than BO3 in my opinion. And then I really like Omni Movement. So
Next one up. If y'all could implement one thing, what would you suggest would be a good way to help new players?
I feel like they got a lot of stuff that helps good players or new players. I mean, I can't really think of anything else that they could add 'cause I think direct emote's great. I think the zombie intel section's great because they can always go back and learn the lore that way. Instead of having to go back onto the map and find it and hold a zombie and listen to it, even though I prefer that. And actually have it hidden, you know what I mean? I feel like they have a lot of stuff now that actually works pretty well for the casual. That helps them out a lot. I mean, yeah, I really can't think of anything.
I am so glad you asked this question because I have the perfect answer.
Oh, here we go.
You ready?
Well, fuck yeah.
Tutorial mode.
Tutorial mode.
I'm just kidding. I mean, I think we cater to the casual player enough already. Like, if somebody, like you said, if you're interested in the game, you're going to play it. So if somebody's not interested with all the stuff that we're providing for them now, they're not going to be interested.
Okay.
So they won't play it.
Both of y'all have a very similar, pretty valid point. Counterpoint, I say we bring back the bank system and the fridge.
I like that. I like those.
I think it was the perfect addition for both casual and hardcore players. It was an incentive to do something on the map that was both for casual and hardcore. I didn't really have to have the max amount of points in there, but some days I just might not want to do a bunch of shit, and some days I get to a high round, I have a bunch of points I don't really want, and I'm about to end the game intentionally anyway. I have something to do with them.
I have a
I would
counterpoint.
say, I was going to say I have a counterpoint as well, or like not even a counterpoint, just more like I would be okay with that, but I feel like it should be a side Easter egg that you have to do something for.
No.
Yes. And with it being how we load into games with guns, I mean,
I
the
was gonna
only
say
real
that, yeah.
incentive is that, I mean, for casual players, yeah, you can bring in 2 separate weapons, and then for hardcore players, you can bring in 2 weapons that you can upgrade or camo grind. But yeah,
I
other
mean,
than that, I don't.
I would say that I agree. That's where I was going with Dalton. Was like, I can see the bank being very useful, and I like that. But especially for like a casual, like mainly, obviously, we're talking for the casual players to help them out a lot and to get them into the game and get them into the mode. I just don't see, unless like you can keep your weapon rarity and you can keep your pack a punch level. Yes, I could see the bridge being useful. Because obviously, no matter what, you're gonna get the gun you want when you spawn in. It's just a matter of like, I just gotta level this up all over again. You know what I mean? Now, if you think that yes, when you throw that weapon in the fridge, it keeps its rarity, it keeps its pack punch level, its alternate animal type, and all that jazz, then yeah, I can kind of see that being useful for casual players. I think that's I don't think anybody else. Well, no, people would probably use that still. That'd be really good to eliminate that whole like progression in zombies having to collect all that salvage, collect all those points, pack a punch up to level 3, get your gun gold. Um and especially if you can put wonder weapons in there, which I don't think you could do that with the original.
You could.
Yeah, so like obviously that would not work. That would eliminate a lot of steps in the quest for most maps. Um but I agree with you on the bank thing. I think the bank would be good. Especially since like perk points, the cost of perks increase depending on how many you buy, and pack a punch being 30,000 points to be, obviously for the max level, and stuff like that. I think be pretty cool. Now to kind of add on to that, do you think the bank could also be for salvage too, or are you thinking strictly just points?
I was
For
thinking points,
Points.
but I mean salvage. You get way too much salvage. Like you don't really struggle for it. And I was thinking like the bank or the fridge would do your upgrades because you could put a packed weapon in there. So I don't see why I wouldn't. From what I remember, you could put a packed weapon in there. Um, I don't I don't really see a problem with either one. They wouldn't like get in the way. There's no downside to them. It would make things a little bit easier, yeah. But my main problem with the current game is being forced to wait 20 rounds when I finish the Easter egg by like 16. Um, I don't know. I just think that'd be a solid addition to the game overall.
Yeah, for casual, I think that'd be perfect. But I think they don't want to do that though, because obviously they want you to play the game to get all those levels. Actually, maybe not, because obviously you have what's that? Whatever that gobblegum's called, I always forget. To get your gold,
Hidden power.
hidden
Yeah.
power, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a tough one, but I can see where you're coming from though. Just to help the casual player, yeah. I do miss the bank system, especially since you could share it. You know what I mean? It's like a community thing. Like if you were in the same lobby with people. Like I like the way IW did it. IW did it great. Where Dalton, if I need perks and Dalton wants to help me out, he can drop me a couple thousand points. I can go get some extra perks before a boss fight, make that go a little quicker. I think that's one thing that needs to return that IW did really good was that version of the bank system too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was per game, so you couldn't. So like the only thing that I kind of don't want the bank system back for is because somebody's gonna find an exploit where they can hit a high round or do something, get all these points. You only have to do that one time, and you just get a fuck ton of points, and then you can go ahead and spawn into every game, and then make your way to the bank, and then the next
That's the
fucking
point in the bank.
that's nah, get it out of here. I don't want it.
There's an exploit on literally every map to get it to as high of a round as you want with as much points and salvage. Like you can do that on any map. What's the
Oh,
difference
well,
in the
but
bank? The bank just helps the casual person do it without having to glitch everything out.
the bank kills a super Easter egg.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
The bank was on the first map to ever do a super Easter egg. The first
No,
game
not
to ever
like
do a
that. I
super
mean,
egg.
so like super Easter egg rewards and stuff. So like, I'm gonna shout it out again. I'm beating a very well dead horse here, but you beat all the maps in IW and you unlock Director's Cut, which gives you 25,000 points, all the perks in the map, and then you can go do whatever the fuck you want in the map easily. And you play through all those, and then you get the Mephistopheles boss fight. When you have the bank system, I don't know. I don't want to make every game super, super easy. And okay, it's like, okay, don't use the bank. But at the same time, I don't want to be like, the bank to me is kind of like a crutch, where it's like, oh, it's like I need 1,000. It's like, well, I don't know.
Well,
I feel
and
like
that's
every game should be different. Like every time you step foot in zombies, it shouldn't be like, okay, well, we gotta stop by the bank and grab like 10K real quick before we do this step, and like have the map open super early. It like defeats the point of the journey. You know what I mean? It's like you're rushing to a destination.
maybe you only have it in directed mode, or
Yeah,
maybe
or you could
if
do
there's a
something like that.
maybe there's like a standard mode, and then there's the hardcore mode. Hardcore doesn't have the bank system. Standard does, or
See,
directed mode does.
that would be fine.
I mean, just in general, there's I mean, if you want to go like someone's gonna glitch it out. I mean, they just put a cap on MBO2 and no one glitched that out. They just had a cap. I think I can't remember what it was. Um, it was a really high number.
Yeah,
But
well, or if you
was
do it,
several
I
hundred
think it should
thousand.
be. I think no, that should not be a thing. I
That was
think
in
it should.
BO2. You got to think of how much, dude. 100,000 in this game won't even get you set up 2 full games.
Good. Then it makes the bank system worth it, and it makes you have to grind a game for grabbing
that's
a
what
bunch
I'm
of
saying
points.
though.
And
That's what I'm
then,
saying
yeah,
though. That makes sense. I don't know. That's not like a big ad. In this game, that makes a lot of sense. Like 900,000, dude. That's like 8 or 9 games setting up, and you still got to get 900,000 points, and you can't point whore in this game. Like honestly, you can make that shit 1,000,000, and I don't even know if I'd ever cap that motherfucker out. I might put like 200,000 in there at some point.
but I mean, I guess. I think there
It
should be a
also
cap,
costs you
and it
points to
should.
withdraw.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It costs you
But
100 for
also,
every 1,000. It was 10%.
oh, 10%. Man, that shit ain't none.
Hey, bro.
that's
In
that's chump
BO2 it
change.
was. But you could only put it in at 1,000 at a time too. You know how long it took you to put in that many fucking
Or even like
points?
withdraw.
Yeah, you had to withdraw 1,000 at a time as well.
All right, well, you got anything else?
Hold on. I think I had one or two more. My bad. I started petting the dog. When did the lore get the easiest to learn? Like, when did that shit take a turn from like World at War only really had lore and Doris with all the ciphers and shit starting to figure out who is who, what was what. Kino obviously picked it up from there, adding a little bit more. But at what point do you think it got like in your face?
Okay. I know what you're gonna say. I think you're gonna say Black Ops 6, Drew. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case either, bitch.
Oh, okay, all right. 'Cause I could have sworn I thought you said that one day that you felt like in today's zombies everything's like in your face. It's kind of like
I mean, it is, but I don't think that's when it started.
yeah, no. Well, I don't, dude. I can't think of when it started. I feel like it's always been extremely complicated. Maybe World at War wasn't as complicated. I think they had like a lot of those smaller details that people might not think about. You know what I mean? Maybe Black Ops 1's the same way. Like no one, I don't think it. People are gonna really
Black Ops 1 had a
like
full blown story
like
with
Peter
like ciphers and shit.
yeah, like Peter McCain wasn't I think of Peter McCain from Numa. I don't think he was that important to the story at the time. It's just like, oh, who is this guy? Why is he missing an arm? Why is he hanging here? Whereas in today, you find a ticket for Sal DeLuca at a laundromat in Shadows of Evil, and you're just like, you kind of have to know who Sal DeLuca is to kind of get that reference that they're in the same time period. Obviously, they all know it. They probably have ran into each other, maybe at some point in time, something to that effect. I don't know though. I don't know when it got easy. Maybe
Cold War.
yeah, I was about to say Cold War. That's what I was just about to say was maybe Cold War probably.
Okay.
Because like it kind of had elements, like it kind of reset the story with bringing in Sam and Eddie. Well, not even bringing in Eddie, but bringing in Sam from the ending of Tag Der Toten, and she's just an adult. And then, yeah, I would honestly say Cold War. That's a good one, Dalton. I didn't see that coming, but I definitely was leaning toward. Like I was getting there.
Okay. So Dalton, I'm guessing you're gonna say Cold War as well.
Nah, no, yeah.
Nah, fuck this guy.
I disagree with both of you. I think it was Origins. I think you getting a step by step from Samantha as you go along, and then her explaining like the secrets in the story as you go. all the chat between characters, your end cutscene giving you like a little nod to every single map and like tying shit up. It wasn't something like you couldn't follow along. Like if you were doing those Easter egg steps, you knew what was going on. Whereas in like you could do all of Die Rise and no one still really knows what the fuck you were doing in Die Rise for the most part. You know you were lighting a pylon, but that's about it. Like everything else before this just random nonsense. But I think it'd probably be Origins was the first time they were just like out in the open, throwing the hints at you as what was going on, and then spelling it out.
I don't know because I think of that ending. That ending's definitely confusing at the point in time.
It's
Definitely have to-
confusing, but I think it was still like sensible. I think at that point in time that was supposed to be the answer. It was kids
I can see
playing with
with
toys.
I can see with the map, like you said, like how she kind of like walks you through. You know what I mean? I can see that, especially it's kind of like a reset with the characters. You get our characters returning, but they're different. They're younger. They're all that. I can see that though. I mean, obviously after that, that's not the case, but you know, like BO3 definitely not the case for that. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I think it was just really straightforward.
Was
Last question is the simplest. Do you think that older zombies were something that anybody could play, or do you think you had to put time into it to be able to play it properly? Not
don't you?
properly as in like get a high round, but just like be able to get a full pack punch weapon, all your perks, live a couple rounds, that kind of thing.
Dalton, you want to start? Or you want me to go? Because I kind of already have an answer.
Go ahead and go.
I would say it's. I don't think it's. I think anybody can go back and play old zombies. It's definitely going to be different. Like I think if you go from Black Ops 6, obviously to World at War, there's a huge difficulty gap just based off game mechanics alone. I definitely think though that anybody could pick up a controller and go back and play those older games. Though it's going to take some time. It's definitely a very different, but I think you definitely could, and I think people might just have a little bit more of a better time. Maybe. I mean, maybe a lot of people could just love modern and they just prefer that than the older. But I think it's definitely possible to go back and play those games and still learn everything. And I mean, you might need a video. Probably definitely need a video. But I think in terms of a gameplay standpoint, I think you can still go back and play those games. I still go back and play those games and I have a good time playing World of War, playing Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Definitely a lot harder, obviously, like you said. I mean, going from a 3-hit down in BO3 to a 2-hit down in these older games and going from a however many hit down it is in modern to that is vastly different, but I think it's not impossible. People just need to understand you're not going to make it as far as you would in modern. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a lot more simplistic. You have just simple pack-a-punch. You have Kino, super simple. Duri, super simple compared to what we have today.
Dalton?
No, I mean he kind of hit that on the nail, man. Took the words right out my mouth.
I'm with that guy. That motherfucker.
I like him.
Like, with your question, you said it'd be easier for somebody to pick up and play older and newer. Was that pretty much your question?
No. Do you think anybody could play, like anybody from anywhere? Like if I went and gave your nephew just Black Ops 1, gave him Kino and shit, you think he could play those just pretty normally? Like make it to pack a punch, get all of this shit. Take a couple tries. Obviously, you have to figure out the game controls and shit.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody could figure it out?
Anybody? Like everybody? I mean, probably not. But I mean, like, that's just a skill, issue at that point. I hate to say that, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty straightforward in the older games, but at the same time, it's literally handed to you on a platter in the newer games. I would say, probably easier for the casual player to hop onto a newer game and find pack punch and stuff like that. progress into the map easier. I would say for sure.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I think a lot of people would give up on the older maps from the newer games. Like if you just started in BO6, I don't think you'd like any of the older games. You'd be slow as hell. You get fucking double swiped and downed immediately by just a random ass zombie. I don't think a lot of people would do very well on it, honestly. I think it would take them a way longer to get used to it. And anybody from
Yeah.
a different game would really be fucked.
It
Just knowing
definitely
what
is.
gun to use, like points, opening doors, where to go.
Oh yeah, it's definitely harder. And you know, it definitely is. Like you said, not being able to spawn in with whatever weapon you want, having to find out what gun is good out of the box and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna pick modern zombies because I can't play as Beavis and Butthead in BO2. I'm just saying.
He's
Ooh,
got a good point.
you know, man, that's a solid argument, and I don't have a rebuttal, so you're just gonna have to take the stand with that one. No, man. Oh fuck! I dropped my vape.
He's not wrong. I mean, I'd rather do that than whatever we got going on now.
I think that the difficulty of it kept a lot of people away, which kept it more distilled, if that makes sense.
More isolated. I know what you mean.
Yeah, like, you weren't into zombies unless you were into zombies.
Exactly.
Even if it was just for gameplay, no lore implication, like we all started out. Like you just loved to play zombie. Like you got fucked up like round 5 or 6 every time because of dogs, and then you locked in one day and you made it to like 17 or some shit, and you were like, oh boy, I can do it.
It definitely made him. I feel like that just increases playability. Like replayability is like, you know, I think I could definitely make it to this round higher on this map. I want to keep trying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like this is my thing. I don't like the ability to easily get to a high round because I feel like that's just so time consuming. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I sound dumb, but like going to like round 25 on Kino is like getting that is so much more satisfying than getting round 50 on Terminus. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it felt more rewarding in a way. You know, I guess because maybe those, like you said, those games are harder. You know what I mean? But nothing wrong with that.
Well, and a fucking thing handed to you on a platter on the older games. Like even getting the Wonder Weapon, you couldn't just go build that bitch and guarantee. Nah, bro, you better start spinning the box and hope you get that small chance, because it was like the hardest thing to get out of the box. Had the smallest chance to spin, and it took a lot of points to get that motherfucker sometimes.
Mhm. But
I mean,
I'm not a big fan of RNG. Oh, I have a question actually. Well, we can finish this topic first, but I just thought of a question. I was actually thinking of it. But damn, I forgot what we was talking about. Lukey.
I mean, just ask the question. Go for it. Like it.
Oh. So, would y'all be okay in games nowadays? Because we're starting to kind of move away from the RNG. It's like everything's accessible to you. You know what I mean? You can build the wonder weapons that you need. You can get it from the box. Would you guys be okay with adding RNG back into zombies for Easter eggs?
In
But-
what way? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Like something you need out of the box. But it's coded so there's like caps. So like you will get the wonder weapon or let's say QEDs or something by no matter what, like first spin on round 20, you'll hit it. If you don't get it by a certain thing. Or like certain set of rounds, you know what I mean?
And I think about this because I have the perfect analogy from work. Our mechanic fixed up our old vending machine that doesn't get service, and he services it himself. You know what I mean? And he made it to where that one in a 20 purchase, you will get your money back. Right? It'll flash when on the screen. You know, I've gotten it twice. You know, so I've got my money back twice. Maybe something like that. And I don't know if that's what you're initially implying, but maybe have it to where, like you said on Moon, for example, you need QEDs, you need all this. You have a out of the 20 times you hit the box, within that 20 times, you will get a QED, whether it's the 10th time, the 15th time, the 4th time, but you will get it at least by the 20th hit. Or maybe less,
Yeah.
because I feel like 20 is
Well,
kind
I
of
was gonna say,
absurd, you know what I mean? Unless you got
you
like an
can do-
immolation.
You can do hits like that. Or you could do it by like round as well. So it's like you can judge by playing a map before it gets released, like where people will be at per round. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you'll have this half of the map open and you'll have 2 parts to Pack-a-Punch by round 5. It's like, okay, by round 10, you're going to have the whole map open, but you're still missing 1 part for Pack-a-Punch. And then by round 12, you can unlock Pack-a-Punch. You know what I mean? Like a round. So, it's like, okay, they're going to start hitting the box right here. Have the QED at a 0.01% chance to get hit in the box, like to spin from the box. And then whenever it hits, 15 or 16 or 17, that percentage starts to increase. And then eventually it hits a cap where it's like, okay, if you've been hitting the box this whole time, by round 20, your first box hit will be QEDs kind of thing. But you could also do, like you said, like a 1 in 20 chance where it's like you could hit it the first time. But technically, I would say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the best way to do it is, but if you could do it, would you allow that into zombies?
I would say yes, if there was a way to where you were guaranteed to get it within a certain amount of time. It wasn't just like, because I feel like you could go play Moon right now and hit the box 50 times and not get a fucking QED.
Mm-hmm.
Now obviously that map's very different because you need you would need playing solo. You need Gersh's QEDs and then Gersh's again, right, or whatever it is. But multiplayer probably not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
If they did find some way to work around that to where yeah, you got it at a between a certain point, you know what I mean? Then yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Because that with modern zombies, that definitely gives me a reason to hit the box. I feel like in nowadays, there's no reason to hit the box. Unless you're doing like a spawn room challenge, the mystery box is in the spawn room. If I'm going for an Easter egg, if I'm playing casually, I'm not hitting the box. There's no need for me to hit the box.
I was
One
going
of
to
my
say,
biggest problems.
this is one of the games that I can say I have 100% through the playtime I have on this game. I have hit the box substantially less than I have in any other game.
Almost none other than a starting room challenge.
Or if you got a Wonder Bar. That's really
but
about,
seriously, it's like
because you're. Go ahead.
Because I was gonna say God damn it.
Y'all hit each other head on. And
Yeah, I know. I remember what I was gonna say. Real quick, I was gonna say, because you don't even get mystery or monkey bombs out of the box anymore. Like that was one thing you would actually try and hit for back in the day. I think that made box hits useful. Like, oh shit, I can get a monkey bomb. I can get a little Arnie. Now it's just fucking craftable.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, I could be wrong though, but I don't think I've ever gotten I don't think I got a monkey bomb in a mystery box in this game. I don't think I've even seen it. I could be wrong though.
They need to revert a couple things, like
into the mystery box instead of just.
Yeah, I was gonna say they need to get rid of put monkey boxes or monkey bombs back into the box.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole score streak thing. I mean, it's cool. I don't think so. If anything, I don't think you should be able to buy them. If you want to go ahead and drop them from zombies, okay, but make it super, super rare. Make it almost like a bonfire sale. Where it's just super, super, super rare to drop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like nowadays it's a little bit too easy, and the scaling isn't completely there for what you get. You know what I mean? I feel like there needs to be that extra push of hardcore, whether it be a whole game mode or just tighten up, or a whole different game mode or section. You know what I mean? Or tighten the whole thing up where it's just gets harder.
Okay. True.
Well, I love to gamble. I am an addict of sort. I say we put RNG in a way other than the box, because honestly, the box is just unless they get rid of you being able to bring in whatever you like. The only reason you're using the box is then to get those things, and I feel like that's just a stupid concept at that point. If you're gonna force me to have RNG, I'd want it in a funner way. Like make it where gobblegums aren't something I can buy and shit, and that I just get them randomly throughout that game. Like if I do like the Sam trials
Oh, I get
almost.
what you're saying.
Like yeah, like give me another way of getting RNG at that point that would be beneficial toward me. I mean you
That's
could
actually
also
a good
make it.
idea. I like that. I like the gobblegum idea where it's like gobblegums are in the game, but you can't come in with a pack and anything like that. You earn them throughout the game. So like zombies, like regular zombies, have a chance to drop. I don't fucking Newton, whatever.
Yeah, I know
The
what you're
one
talking
where they
about.
fly up in the sky, and then
It's
when
a
you do like
Newtonian
steps of an
thing.
Easter egg or a Sam trial, you can get like a perkaholic.
Yeah, like if you get the top tier and it has like a low chance of getting it or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that'd be a good way of doing it. It also make more sense because if I spawn in at the beginning of a game and I had the wrong pack of gums, I now have to waste all of these to now like start pulling different ones, and I don't really want to do all that extra shit.
Or you could just restart the game.
That's why would I
Mhm.
do that? Then I got to do all this other stupid. Now I got to reset and go change my packs and then just let the game roll back through and then wait through this other stupid shit. I'm wasting like 45 seconds sitting there for no reason just because I clicked the wrong thing. I don't
That's
want to do
fair.
all that. Like if you're gonna make everything super accessible, at least make it where I can like change it or just get rid of that like system. Honestly, I don't really like the idea of being able to buy a bunch of shit and them giving you like BO3 had it better. Like the gambling part of it, that was more fun. Like you could get more perkaholics and shit that way, and they
Yeah.
weren't really divided by like actual category as much. Like you get perkaholics pretty often comparatively, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But you could just do away with that whole system and make it on an earnable basis with a chance addition to it. Then I could also decide if I want to pick it up or drop it and let somebody else have it. Same thing. Like it's do it. You did it with the perks. Do that with my gobblegums next. Make that shit different. I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with all that.
Fair
I felt
point.
that.
Yeah, that's very, very, very fair point. Okay. Well, does anybody have anything? Because I kind of have one closing question to kind of end off this. Does anybody have anything left they want to say or ask?
No, I just think it's good to be either hardcore or casual.
Yeah,
But
there's no better side.
I enjoy being more on the casual side.
I think we all have that point in time where we play casually and we play hardcore, Maybe one more than the other, but okay, well, if that's the case, what I kind of want to ask you guys is I want each of you to give me your favorite casual map and your favorite hardcore map. If that makes any sense.
Repeat the question.
Mm-hmm.
Riley came back in, so I said, "Hey."
I want each of you to give me your favorite casual map to play and your favorite hardcore map to play.
Casuals gotta go town. I love playing town. You can just be mindless there. It's like fishing in Minecraft to me. That shit just goes hand in hand.
Okay.
Hardcore. Honestly, I'd probably go Shadows of Evil. Something about playing that map for like a high round. Like it's easy to do. Got decent perks. Like the perk system's okay in that game. The movement system's great. Yeah, I'd probably go Shadows of Evil.
Those are two good ones. Dalton?
Casual.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably have to be probably Kino.
Okay.
Recently though, it's been Ascension. I really like playing Ascension casually. Um, Hardcore. Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Would you consider DE hardcore.
I mean, you would take it
Mm,
hardcore. Like, what was your favorite one to play hardcore?
Hey, I wouldn't take nothing hardcore.
Hey man,
All right,
you
my
do
bad,
you, all
my
right?
bad. I'm backing
Pause.
up, G.
I'm backing up. So you would say DE?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Glad we got to that point. I would have to say Kino as well. I love Kino. It's just a fan, just not a. It's a fan favorite, and it's my favorite to play casually. I just love. I could sit there. It's a good time between that and Town. But I think Kino definitely has my heart in terms of um the more casual side of zombies. And then for hardcore though, I would have to say Origins. Origins is definitely up there as one of my favorite hardcore maps. Having to get all the stabs and doing it, I like to race myself and just see how early I can get them done in terms of rounds and stuff like that. And you know, you're not always gonna do it first try. You're gonna mess up in there somewhere. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say Kino tied with Town, and then Origins is probably like up there as one of mine. So, but yeah, all right. Well, that's about it for today's episode of Casual versus Hardcore, whatever you want to call it. Just kind of comparing both and talking about, maps and games that kind of appealed to either side or maps that appealed to both perfectly. So yeah, I appreciate both you guys coming out today and joining me for round 13. Can't believe we're in the double digits and we're getting close to round 20. Definitely going for a high round here. So yeah. Anybody got any closing comments before we send it off this week?
Well,
Fuck
boys.
Misty.
Oh,
That's all Drew
well,
has to say.
I mean, mine doesn't relate to that, but it kind of does at the same time. I was just gonna say, if you can't come in or come on, her boys.
All right. All right, everybody. We hope you guys enjoyed round 13 of the Round Base Radio podcast. Please come back for round 14. Go check out the other ones if you haven't already. Comment down below a question you guys want us to answer for week 14, round 14 coming up soon. And leave a like if you enjoy these podcasts. You want to keep coming back. Comment down below, like I said, and subscribe if you want to keep coming back for more zombies content and you like live streams. We live stream almost every day. Let's go check it out. All right. We'll see you guys next week.